Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully you can hear me at Knockhill. Let's see if anybody can hear us as we get ready for this opening heat of the latest round. Aha, now we can hear us. Great, okay. Well, I don't get to talk much because we're going 5 green lights, and thanks to Dylan McClements for holding everything up there, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, Dylan's late grid has saved us and bailed us as we go racing in Knockhill here in Scotland. It is a wet race tonight in the GR86 Cup, and it's a monster start from Travis Moweni down towards Duffus Dip for the first time, and they're gone free wide very early on, and that was oh so close between the two. But Dylan McClemens leads Travis Moweni, then it's Harvey Dara and Jordan Kelly. Jordan buries it on the inside at the newly named McCann corner, and we have contact, and Moweni goes round. Oh, it's all sorts of carnage heading through the first sector. Travis is gone, Johnny Reed's gone round, Sean McGoldrick in the Simpsons livery down towards the back.
I shouldn't be laughing, but I feel like it was hilarious the minute you mentioned Peter McCann's name. That just all fell apart as McGoldrick ended up across the front bumper. Oh, contact there as well. Ryan Evan Johnson turned around. Lee Coven's on a meatball. There is
Dylan's
carnage here. Dylan is gone. Oh my God, our championship leader, Dylan McClements, making a mistake. It must be treacherous here. I wonder if to have these guys gone out in dries. Maybe Ronan Hedeman, our broadcast director, may have.
Yeah, Dylan's on slicks.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him. Track may dry up later, but the wipers are on, Evan, so maybe this is the wrong decision.
Yeah, it's actually not even a quarter of how bad it was in practice. It was absolute monsoon conditions in the pre-qualifying testing. But Dylan's gone for the slick, so he's going to have to hang on here, and you can see it's like Bambi on ice as he heads to the beach on the exit of turn number 3, which is called McIntyre, so McCann not too far away. As they bounced away over the curbs, that might be the only little bit of grip that Dylan McClements got a minute and 40 seconds into this one. Some big movers and shakers, both Peter McCann and Eric Killeen up 6 places, and for all the slagging we will be giving Peter tonight, he's had quite a good race start here, side by side with Harvey Dara, heading up towards the final hairpin, the 9th corner on this very short Knockhill circuit, 1.3 miles, and Harvey Dara lunges it down the inside, and he's ahead for the time being.
The mind boggles that Dylan McClements started on dry tyres here. Everyone else around him on wets, and anybody who started off on dry is pretty much falling foul. I mean, Dylan is the highest up, and Travis Moweni then, but very few others managing to make this dry tyre work for this opening race. And it's only 10 minutes long. I don't understand why you would need to run the dry. Even if you ran the wet state, lasted 10 minutes, surely.
Yeah, it's a strange one. But to be fair, the track does not look as wet as it was earlier, so maybe that just lured Dylan into a false sense of security. The Zuma, oh, there we go. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
But you can always depend on an old dog to bring out the same tricks. It is what amazed me about this track is not so much the amount of water or lack of amount of water or whatever, because we were expecting a wet round this evening, but the amount of sand and gravel that's across the track. It's just littered across the place. It's like the entrance to a bunker in golf where all the sand splashes out and you end up half grass, half sand sort of monstrosity. It's just, it is everywhere in this track in some parts. And that obviously, notwithstanding this part of the track particularly, given the amount of carnage we had earlier. But it is, it's just really got absolutely thrown into it. Like all the gravel there down the inside of the track, like surely that can't be carried over all the way from turn number 3.
A track synonymous with Peter McCann, covered in 2 of the core components of tile manufacturing. Yeah, well, I never. As we look at Conor Melia defending from Harvey Dara, Johnny Hollywood saying the stewards are on a work to rule, so that's why we have a load of gravel. That's Melia slow out of the corner there. Kevin Joyce with a good point, saying in these you have to run wets until it's almost bone dry. Yeah, in the karting world it's kind of the opposite, where if you're unsure of the tyres, always go for the slicks. Where in these GR86 Cup, it seems to be the opposite. If you're unsure of the tyres, go for the wets. And for the most part, if there's a little droplet of rain, the wet tyres is the one to go for. Harvey Dara sideways, heading through Leslie's. Great save.
Harvey Dara, David Raya would have been proud of that one. That was a save out of the absolute top drawer. David Raya versus Brighton, esque. For those of you who remember that, and if you haven't, it's probably been played 1,000 times since Arsenal won the league. But yeah, what a save by Harvey Dara. And there's Sean spinning around again, and no seener sparkle as he gets collected then by Carl Corkin on the way through. Carl, who got a podium position, was our Gantry TV driver of the day last week as well, but unfortunately Carl starting on dry tyres. But yeah, very interesting point you make, Kevin, because a lot of these guys obviously come from the karting world and maybe don't do that much racing in the wet in iRacing, so they're used to running on dry tyres, and when they see a little bit of rain, they probably think we'll stick to the dry tyres as much as possible. But definitely on the iRacing service, dry tyres and any bit of wet at all, it's so difficult. And of course, like when you're on a sim, you know, that is definitely, I feel always that on dry weather, it's not as big of an issue, but that kind of seat of the pants feeling that you miss. Oh, there's Dylan just about catching a slip and slide as Peter is right in behind him going through the curves. But yeah, you don't get that same feeling of when the car is gone beyond the limit of adhesion. And Peter almost repeating the trick. That spot is catching Peter McCann out a little bit, but he manages to get that one over. But yeah.
Yeah, here's Sean Smith in the Pennzoil livery, and then it's the other McClellan, Sean, behind on 7th. Sean and Dylan never go for the same tyres, which is quite interesting. Dylan's last lap was a second off Conor Mealy in front, but he's doing a stellar job on the slick tyres as the championship leader, currently sitting in 4th, but it must feel like a rowboat heading around Knockhill as they head down towards the first corner now. We'll get a look at the lap time. So McClemens 1:05. Conor Mealy with a 1:09 on the last lap, so he's made a mistake somewhere. But then John McClemens 59.6, 9/10 of a second quicker than his younger brother here because of that correct tyre choice. And as over the chicane goes, Dylan McClemens has to run fairly peculiar racing lines to try and find the grip on this very slippy, very dirty asphalt here at Knockhill. And Peter McCann now is going to try and get past young McClemens, but he's oh so slow out of the corner. And that Toyota may as well be a shopping trolley, and that's going to allow Sean McClemens to find a way through. And now Peter McCann is boxed in by the two Antrim boys down towards the final corner here of this Knockhill circuit. Sean's got to be careful Dylan doesn't run wide or snaps into the side of him. Dylan's played it uber cool, and now Sean will have the slipstream down towards the first corner. Peter McCann not going to be liking this. The two brothers once again deploying the Team DDR tactics that we've come to expect. Down towards Duffus Dip, McCann on the inside. This one's going to be close, but Sean just gets it round the outside. Peter backing off quite smartly there.
Yeah, I mean, it must be frustrating for Peter because he has the wet tyres and he knows he probably has the pace advantage over Dylan overall, but he keeps making mistakes, particularly through this section of the course. Dylan hopping up and over the curves, and I suppose the track seems to be drying up a little bit. You can see that dry line on the outside, followed by what's a damp line, followed by what's essentially a sandy line, as Dylan up and over the curve. But yeah, he's starting to get the pace now as Dylan, and I do think though, like, he might make time up, Dylan, now with the dry line, but his race is already, like this opening race anyway, is already over for him. I mean, he's, over 20 seconds behind our leader, Jordan Kelly, who we've barely had a look at. Jordan back in the sim this evening and making absolute use of it. But yeah, I mean, there's no point in having pace at the end of a 10-minute race. You really need to kind of get out and make a good start. And yeah, it's just too little too late for Dylan.
Yeah, the European Athletics Championship's on at the minute, so a nice little athletics phrase here is you've got to get out of the starter blocks quick in this 10-minute sprint. Dylan is up to pace now, so the slicks are slowly coming into their own. He was quicker than his brother on the last lap with a 59.3, so Dylan might be able to hold on to this 4th place, but yeah, won't be the podium that maybe he expected. But a good gamble, not the worst decision we've seen in terms of tyres. As there's Peter McCann. He's run wide, so lost an awful lot of momentum, and he will lose the place to Sean Smith. Sean, who's becoming fairly at home with 6th place in RTA, finished 6th in the 3rd heat last week in Oulton Park. So Sean Smith running in 6th once again behind his fellow namesake.
Yeah, on the athletics topic, I think we have enough sand to fill a long jump pit at this point on the track. But yeah, Sean in the traditional final points place for Formula One before that was extended out back in the days. But yeah, it's all about this man really, Jordan Kelly, 5, almost 6-second lead in Harvey Dara, and okay, there was a little bit of carnage at the beginning and blah blah blah, but like all of the front 3, Harvey, Connor and Jordan, are all on the same tyres. They're all on the wet tyres. So hypothetically should all be the same as Jordan passes the white line here for the take the final lap at Knockhill. But he's etched out an enormous lead on Harvey Dara and Conor Amelia, and that is ominous for the second race.
Yeah, Jordan usually he's picked up a slowdown, but I don't think that'll matter too much. Jordan usually gets home on the same about round 3 or 4 of the season, and just pure domination. And he started off really well here at Knockhill, and he only has half a lap to go, 2 real corners before he will see it home. Decent drive from Harvey Dara as well, who of course had to come from absolutely nowhere in Heat 3 last week to win. So it'll be a 3rd podium of the season for Harvey Dara. As we look at Peter McCann, who's fallen down to 7th in this one, still up 2 places from where he started, but he was fighting for a podium very early on. Went for the correct wet tyres, but just unfortunate mistakes left, right and centre for Peter McCann. But Jordan Kelly is going to come home to take the opening win here in Knockhill, ahead of Harvey Dara in 2nd position, and then it will be Conor Amelia in 3rd. There's a lap car in between those two. Conor's first podium of the season, first podium in quite a while here in RTA, so I think he'll be happy enough with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Conor be very happy with that, and up 3 places as well. Here's Sean McClemens up 6 places, finishing ahead of his brother Dylan, who's down 4. And obviously, as we said, a bit of carnage at the beginning, which means that a lot of these guys crossing the line will have made up places. Sean Smith up 6, 2-6. So if we can repeat the feat, he will be in minus 1st place by the end of the next race.
Well done, Dylan.
For him, that's not even possible. Lee Cogan has done well as well. Lee was on a meatball at the beginning of the race and actually went into the pits and has managed to battle back to 11. So that's a good result for the Aries Motorsport number 26 car. And he's followed, unfortunately, by Johnny Reid, Kyle Corkin, Eric Killeen, Sam O'Reilly and Adam Dowling, none of whom, I believe, finished out the race.
Yeah, Dylan and Travis, the only 2 to start on the slicks that actually made the end of that one. And Dylan taking a top 5 is not the total write-off that it could have been. But Jordan Kelly is your race winner ahead of Harvey Dara in 2nd. Conor Amelia comes home in 3rd with Sean McClemens in 4th. And it's his younger brother Dylan, championship leader, behind him in 5th. Then it's Sean Smith, Peter McCann, Travis Mowini, Sean McGoldrick, Ryan Evan-Johnson, Lee Cogan, Johnny Reid, Kyle Corkin, Eric Killeen, Sam O'Reilly and Adam Dowling in 16th position. Another one of the Knockhill track dares, I should say, and they will start as they finished.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the way it works here. Race 1, 10-minute with the grid set by qualifying that you missed. Race 2 is a 15-minute affair with the grid set by race 1 that you didn't miss. And race 3 is a 20-minute affair with reverse 8 from race 2, which hopefully you don't miss. Drive through at 15x, disqualification at 20x. That shouldn't be a factor here. I say shouldn't. Looking at the amount of carnage we had in that opening lap, that may change. But fairly dry here as we head for the second race.
Yes, it is Jordan Kelly on pole, and Jordan Kelly stalled it. He stalled it. He's not started, and that is going to be Harvey Dara and Conor Amelia fighting for the lead with the 2 McClemenses. A horrid start for Buncrana's Jordan Kelly, and we're 3 wide down into the opening corner of Knockhill. It is Sean McClemens who leads. Harvey Dara in 2nd. Hip check for Amelia. He's ran wide, but he's just about gathered it up, heading through the right-hander, and he's A-OK. McGoldrick's ended up in that gravel for a 2nd time. Connor's picked up a slowdown. They're 3 wide. Up through the Arnold Clark chicane. Oh my goodness me, how have they all survived? Well, just about. Sean Smith's run wide. They're all bogging down in the gravel, and Travis Mowini's gone for a shortcut line. This is pandemonium.
Oh, Travis Mowini's gone for the kamikaze line there. I'm glad he held
on. Oh, Connor's on wets.
That was, what is, I don't understand that at all. He got a hip check from Dylan McClements. Back to Jordan Kelly. I think Jordan just forgot that the race had started, because we're normally so used to waiting so long for Dylan McClements to grid up. I think even we were kind of caught out by how quickly the grid took and the lights were red. I honestly think Jordan was just completely distracted. But as Campto says, what is going on? Carnage at the beginning. A couple of fellas running off into the gravel. Amongst them, as you said, Sean McGoldrick for a second time, as that's Ryan Evan-Johnson battling Jordan Kelly. And Conor Melia goes in as well. Travis Whitty alongside him. And Ryan Evan-Johnson had a disappointing spin out in the opening lap. He's up 4 positions already, up into 6th place. But this is the battle for the front.
Dylan!
Dylan, contact between himself and Harvey Dara. That's not the first time we've said that between those two. Harvey managing to keep it on track, but he will have a head like a bull after that. We'll so much to try and catch up on. We'll try and see if the race calms down at all. We can go back and have a look at some of these incidents, but it is absolute pandemonium in the first couple of laps here at Knockhill. A tight and tricky, twisty circuit with up and down, plenty of elevation, and these guys pay absolutely no heed to that, barreling through 3 and 4 wide in the opening laps and giving us, Evan, plenty to talk about when we're only 2 minutes into this race.
Yeah, the British Touring Car Championship racing here at the weekend, but RTA providing the action once again as Travis Mooney gets past Ryan Johnson, and Sean McGoldrick are side by side. These two have come to blows this season already, and Sean McGoldrick barrels it down the inside. Contact once again. You can almost ride it, and McGoldrick spins round and falls down the order once again through turn number 3, and that has forced, I think it was Sam O'Reilly, to jump over the grass of the chicane there. Oh, there is someone else wide as well. That's Johnny Reid in the Aqua Fresh car, or whatever Kevin's been calling it, something to do with The Simpsons, I believe, off on the gravel. Dylan, I thought, was going to run away at the front of this one. Sean, I could have swore, was leading on the opening lap, is down to 4th. Peter McCann running quite well there in 3rd. What a hectic opening 3 minutes. That's been our busiest in a while.
Oh, there's another move there on the assassin. Let's see what happens in the background. No, he managed to survive. How Ryan Evan-Johnson and both he and Sean McGoldrick managed to survive that, I do not know, because the two of them T-boned each other, and it's only by the grace of God did both of them get through without having any major incidents. But this is, you said the British Touring Car Championship is on this weekend. This is like peak 90s super touring, where everyone just crashes into each other in order to make a corner. Like, it's just absolute carnage. These guys, there's more tire tracks off the track than there is on the track. There's more sand on the track than there is in the gravel traps, and there's probably more parts of cars scattered across than there were otherwise. That was Dylan, I think, feigning a little move there on Harvey Dara, and contact between them two. We might go back and have a look at that as well, because that obviously was a big influence on the battle for the lead, the contact between these two. But Peter McCann, lads, up into 3rd position. He's up 4 places.
Yeah, cheeky by Dylan for the final corner. The British Superbikes would race here at Dunfermline, and they would call that one standing up the bike there. Let's have a look at this. This is Dylan. Exits the Arnold Clark chicane. It's a monster run on the back of Harvey Dara, and up through Brabham, through Clark of turn number 7, lunges it down the inside. There is front panel to rear panel contact there.
I
Robin
honestly
is racing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Harvey was trying to squeeze him to the inside and then essentially turn in. I think he was hoping that the early squeeze would kind of see Dylan lift off a little bit, but I don't really think there's that much wrong with that. I mean,
is that a Wu-Tang Clan livery?
It is a Wu-Tang Clan livery. That's the fact that is one of the, not even one of the top 5 talking points so far in this race, tells you all you need to know. Because we love you. Yeah. Well,
there's a good look at it.
Wu-Tang goes a little bit woo wrong. I don't know. I was reaching for something that didn't exist there. Oh, there's the assassin turning in on Adam Dowling, and he managed to get the move done. Yeah, but going back to that incident, there wasn't really a huge amount of space as it was for Dylan to occupy, and then that was closed even further by Harvey. And like, I don't know. I don't think they're. I think, as you say, Robin is racing a bit of a racing incident. There as Jordan sends it from a mile off on Sean McClements, and the way this corner works, you no comeback once somebody's on your inside, unfortunately. And Jordan gets the move done back into 3rd position.
Not particularly sure how Sean ran wide there despite breaking 50
Oh!
metres early. There's someone
Bye-bye.
for the wall. He's pitched for the wall. Is that Cogan? No, it's Cahill Corkin, who I think has just kept it out of the Armco, which is very impressive. Here's Conor Melia, who is struggling on these wet tyres with Lee Cogan alongside, and it's not very often you can swing around the outside of the first corner at Knockhill, but Lee Cogan's made it work because he just has the extra grip, just has the advantage through there. Now this is Sean McClements and Peter McCann fighting, and McCann now is on the inside of McClements, who seems to be struggling a little bit. He's got a slow down now, so he's run wide through the chicane somewhere. Jordan has also got a slow down, so has Lee Cogan, so has Sean McGoldrick, so has Cahill Corkin, and they're handing them out like Smarties here in Dunfermline.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other things that not going to go there. Conor Melia all over the back of Lee Cogan. Lee's up 3 places, by the way. He had a meatball, let's not forget, in the opening lap of the opening race, and we're not even just over a third of the way into the second race, and he's already poised for a reverse grid pole, so that gives you a good indication as to the kind of madness we've had so far this evening. Peter's making the most of it, though. He was very untidy by Peter McCann standards in the opening race, making an awful lot of mistakes through particularly this section coming up the Clark curve, up and over the top of it. But Peter, yeah, he looks a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident, a lot smoother going through that corner. Before he was kind of snap of oversteer, and then he was pitching the opposite direction to try and correct it. But he's trying to stay on the back of Jordan, and Jordan still has a very good chance of winning this race. He clearly has the pace, does Jordan, and he's, as he said, he's back on the sim. It means he's less likely to make kind of those silly mistakes that we've seen so far at this championship. And if Peter can stay this far off Jordan for the rest of the race, or some way off this far off, then he'll be in a pretty good position to pick up a podium.
Yeah, absolutely, and Peter does like to pick up a podium here and there. I have a tidbit while it's gone a little bit quiet, and it is based on, or it has been inspired by Bicky's Wu-Tang Clan livery while we are on the topic of music. Kaiser Chiefs Hole in My Soul music video was filmed here at Knockhill.
I like it. That's very interesting. Was the music video related to motorsport in any way, or do you know, or just that fact, right?
In the words of Alison Hammond while she was interviewing Ryan Reynolds on the Matrix or something, I think it was, or no, Avatar. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So we're getting inside info that Conor Melia is requesting a lap 8 chicane replay. So Conor is looking to look back, and Ronan says, "How about no?" And just we're not messing. We're being kind to Ronan tonight. He's at a very stressful. Whoa, there's Travis Mawhinney taking flight. We were talking about the long jump earlier on, and Travis kind of pretty. That was the high jump there from Travis Mawhinney, going straight up over the car, and all 4 wheels leaving the ground before landing back down in the desolate, barren, sandy tarmac asphalt that is this Knockhill track at the moment. But yeah, okay, well there you go.
I don't know about you, Kevin, but I kind of want to see Conor Melia's lap 8 for the chicane.
Yeah, I'd love to see it too, but unfortunately,
really would.
A certain person doesn't want it to happen. So a certain spoiled sport.
Is it not you that has the money in the account, Kevin?
Well, I'd love to say there is any money in the account, but we haven't been paid for last season, so there's no money in the account for the moment. But when we get money in the account, then I'm sure I'll be in a position to give some of it out to you and I.
Speaking of the Parks family, Ryan Johnson got a race in a Formula V that was owned by Robbie Parks.
Yeah, and that makes it 4. Well, not 4 drivers that as Travis Mawhinney makes a mistake. Speaking of our RTA Scholarship Series, so that's our 5th driver on the grid this year that's going to make their Formula V debut.
Yeah, correct.
And let me see, how many others? Conor Melia,
Sean, Ronan Doherty, Jordan.
Yes. Is Jordan doing V's?
He has won a race this year. He raced in Bishop's Car.
Oh, I thought Jordan's just more doing Formula Fords.
Mr. Jonathan Hollywood, once upon a time in RTA, yeah.
Once
Driver.
upon a time, yeah, absolutely. Once upon a time. Now RTA lurker, full-time professional lurker.
Full-time larper, as the kids
Oh,
would
that's
say.
missed.
Oh,
That's a mistake by Conor Mealy.
oh!
Oh, Johnny Reid. Oh dear, Johnny going full Dukes of Hazzard there and almost straight into the side of Conor Mealy. As that's Johnny Reid's gone in the background. We reckon Connor's tyres are gone. So Connor's tyres are gone. Travis's wheel is gone. He's gone into the pits. Eric Killeen is all right for the moment. Johnny Reid almost rolled over onto his roof, which would be a first. I don't think I've ever seen anybody barrel roll from a corner in iRacing. And Adam Dowling going for a trip across the gravel as well. So it comes in fits and starts, but that was an eventful lap. Eric in the Wu-Tang Clan liveried number 4 car. Jordan Kelly now being caught up a little bit as we see this battle between Conor Mealy and Johnny Reid continuing. Conor now is going up on the curbs and he's giving a little hip and shoulder, and once again almost reversed as Conor again never makes that corner, and that's Adam Dowling going for a spin. They're really struggling in that corner. That seems to be a really tricky section of the track, and these cars are quite light. Obviously not a lot of fuel put in them for a 15-minute race as well, so they're a little bit more aerodynamically unstable, shall we say, than what they would normally be.
Not sure where Harvey picked up the slowdown there. That was airtime for Harvey Dara, and Jordan Kelly gets all tail happy as he runs across the gravel up through the Clark curve, and Harvey Dara is in front for the time being, but does have to serve that slowdown. Jordan is tucked into the slipstream and hopefully is aware that Harvey has a slowdown. Yet seems to be. Harvey's playing it quite tactical, lifting off early into the corner. Jordan Kelly is trying it around the outside. Oh, that has such a touch of class about it. Pulls it off when Harvey was trying to be sneaky with his slowdown. No, you won't, says Jordan. Beautiful move to take second place.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff from Jordan, and absolutely outstanding, where it's gone from chaos to sublime here at Knockhill. We've had a bit of both, and speaking of chaos, you could just see some droplets of rain falling on Sean McClements's windshield. I don't think it'll be enough, but strap yourselves in for the final race, see what that's going to have in store for us. But yeah, Harvey having to slow down a bit, and Jordan with a superb overtake. But Dylan McClements had a very, very rough opening race, being on the wrong tyres, but has made up ground fabulously here as Sean McClement's being put under pressure by Peter McCann. And McCann, can he do it? I was going to say it's beauty versus the beast. I'll leave you to decide which one is which there, but a beautiful move from Peter McCann around the inside as Carl Crocker unfortunately goes off. And that Johnny Reid Conor Mealy battle is a feisty one and continues well into the final minute of this race.
Yeah, Sean trying around the outside. This is equally as brave as the Jordan Kelly one. Peter remembers to brake for turn 3 this time, so hooks it in nicely. And Sean will have to do the hard work heading through the Clark curve once again, up through the chicane. Peter not as brave as some, but he's a bit more consistent through there. And Sean McClements is right on his bumper. Now McCann forces him to the inside. It's like a beach down there, and Sean McClements sells Peter McCann the dream. It's just like Imola in the LMP2s, where Sean pulled off one of the greatest switchbacks we've ever seen in this championship, and they're side by side and door banging all the way down to the final corner. McClements is the crucial inside line. He's going to force McCann wide. McCann puts the stop pedal on quickly to try and get the exit, but no can do, and the number 3 championship challenger is ahead, starting the final lap.
Yeah, it was touch and go there for final checkered flag, but despite the fact that we're over the 15 minutes here, these guys crossed the line after the 15-minute mark, but our race leader, Dylan McClements, crossed beforehand, so we will have one more lap. Will that make all the difference? As it seems Sean has profited a bit from a Peter McCann mistake. Dylan coming up on Sean Smith, the lapped car. You would imagine Sean will move out of the way for the young Antrim man. Yes, he does. That's good driving there from Sean Smith, leading the race leader through. As Dylan comes through, a superb performance from McCann, or from McClement, should I say, to take the race win.
Yeah, form is temporary, class is permanent as Peter McCann goes very late on the brakes to try and run it the long way around the outside. There's almost contact between the two. Peter has to pitch it for the sand in order to get it stopped and not lose a further place to Ryan Johnson behind. That was a brilliant battle between the two, and Sean will come home fourth. Peter McCann in fifth as Dylan has just picked up a slowdown on his in-lap. Sean McGoldrick in the crucial eighth place. He'll start on reverse pole and will be hoping for a little bit of a better run at it than he had there in heat number 2. Conor Melia, after all that, unfortunately, will be the last of the drivers in the lead lap on the wet tyres, but him and Johnny Reid knocked 7 shades of substance out of each other in what was a great race.
Yeah, a real ding-dong battle, and I mean ding-dong. The emphasis on the ding, because those cars are going to have plenty of them by the time we go for our third race. But that was a really entertaining one, and look at that, ladies and gents. Oh, how quickly the weather changes in wee Bunny, Scotland, and it is absolutely lashing out of the heavens for this final race.
It's... I was going to try to do the accent, but I would have just embarrassed your excellent effort, Kevin. It's Dylan McClements who takes the race win. Jordan Kelly in second, Harvey Dara in third, Sean McClements in fourth, and it was Peter McCann, Ryan Johnson, Lee Cogan, Sean McGoldrick, Eric Killeen, Johnny Reid to round out the top 10. Cathal Corkin, Conor Melia, and unfortunately not in the lead lap, Sam O'Reilly and Sean Smith, with Adam Dowling 2 laps down and a non-finish for Travis Mawhinney, who had some wheel issues during that race. But let's hear from your race winner, Dylan McClements. Dylan, congratulations. It is a win in heat number 2. But to start, I want to ask you about heat number 1. What made you go for the slicks?
It looked fairly dry, and I knew from a while back the dry could be quickest, but maybe not the 10-minute heat would be the smartest idea. But I just had to get some practice in for the heat 2.
Yeah, you righted your wrongs anyways in heat number 2. All elbows out with Harvey Dara. Is there a little bit of a rivalry brewing there? We've seen a couple of close calls over the last few weeks.
Not really. I think we might have been I might have hit him a good bit last week, but we've been racing quite hard. But it's sort of what you have to expect in these cars. It's hard enough to pass around this track, and door to door might be the way to go.
And to quote Creedence Clearwater Revival, have you seen the rain?
I have, and I don't know if I want to race or not, because I'm always quick enough in the rain, but starting from eighth might be a bit hectic.
Well, best of luck, Dylan. I imagine it's going to be elbows out once again, and all going well. We'll chat you later on. I don't think Dylan's ever heard of Creedence Clearwater Revival, but I'm glad I got the reference in.
Yeah, I appreciated it, but I definitely think it went over poor Dylan's head. But yeah, it's I mean, in fairness, there's plenty of drivers on this grid that probably do know Clearwater Revival, but you're not. He's not of that same vintage. Right, who else do we have to talk to?
Second place is Jordan Kelly.
Jordan Kelly.
Hi,
Jordan. Welcome. Thank you,
Jordan.
For
no cursing.
Well, we're past the watershed now. It's okay. Right. Up and down like a fiddler's elbow a few, wasn't it? I mean, geez, absolutely stormed it in race 1. Got into all kinds of issues in race 2. Managed to battle your way back. Bit of carnage, fair to say.
Yeah, I forgot to put it into gear off the start, which didn't really help.
See, I was wondering, were you caught? Because all along, Dylan McClements had done this thing where he grids right at the last minute, right? So we're all waiting. I was wondering, were you just caught out by the fact that he gridded quickly? Because I was kind of surprised that we were already ready to go.
No, I can't remember. I was thinking about something else, whatever it was, and then just forgot to put it into gear. What do you do? But sure,
don't tell us.
no, it was a good first race at least. But good to get it won at least. I always like to get it won in a season, so at least that's out of the way.
Yeah, and obviously on the sim this evening, so making all the difference. I suspect on controller would be almost impossible. Did you start on the correct tires in the second race? Just so many people have started on so many wrong tires. I can't remember who. Yeah, you did.
So it was just Connor was on the wrong tire.
Yeah, it's what's the track like? I mean, you know better. You know what's going to happen better than anyone else, but. Like it seemed to be not dry enough for wet, or sorry, not wet enough. No, not dry enough for dry tires on the first race, and then it was not wet enough for wet tires in the second race.
Yeah, it was just on the border on the 2 races nearly. So no, it was interest, not first race. But spiced up. This race should be wet now, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the inevitable nasty comments sent your way. Jordan, well done.
Yeah.
Good start. Fair play. And we'll chat to you soon.
Chat in. Thanks, Kevin.
Hopefully we have a small bit of time for Harvey before we get gridding for the final race. Do we?
Yeah, we'll get one question
10
in.
seconds? Yeah, we'll get one question in. Okay.
Harvey, very quickly, race 3 ambitions.
Start at the back, actually get a good start for once, and be in the lead by first corner.
Fair enough, we'll hold you to it. Best luck.
Right, see you later.
Love it. Love it. I love it. That is.
Look, if there's a race where he possibly could end up in the race lead by the first corner while starting 5th, it's probably this one.
Well, I mean, come here. We all know where Peter McCann's going to end up, so that's one gone, and then all the rest will follow. Yeah, no, it's going to be it's going to be a bit of a train wreck. I think this final race. I mean, we've had enough banging and bashing and smashing and bumper cars in the opening couple of races, and that's when the track wasn't nearly as wet. But you know that meme with Ralph where he says, "I'm in danger." That I think is how Sean McGoldrick feels right now at the head of this great Lee Cogan, by the way, lads, 2nd position, having had a meatball in the opening race. Fair play to Lee.
Yeah, and then it's just all sorts of chaos on row 2 with Ryan Evan Johnson and Peter McCann. And it's not much better with Sean McClements and Harvey Dara on row 3. Jordan Kelly, Dylan McClements, row 4. And then it's Bicky and Johnny Reid on row 5. Cathal Corkin and Conor Amelia, 11th and 12th. Followed by Sam O'Reilly, Sean Smith, Adam Dowling, and Travis Mawhinney to round out the 16-car field. This could be very entertaining, as we have a bit of Creedence Clearwater Revival quotations going on in the stream chat, which is appreciated.
Yeah, well, you know these boys kick something off, and they'll always make the most of it. As yeah, let's see if Mr. Sparkle can sparkle in the wet weather here at Knockhill.
Yes, so 5 red lights at a very, very wet Knockhill, and Sean McGoldrick gets us racing here down towards the first corner. Brilliant launch by the number 10, and he is away in towards turn number 1. Peter McCann looking for the outside on Lee Cogan, and it's a very spaced out field here for the first couple of corners, but the real test is when they splash through the puddles and apply the brakes for turn number 3. All nice and calm, all nice and cool. Dylan McClement, or Sean McClements that is rather, looking to dispatch Ryan Evan Johnson very early on, and he has pulled that one off. Oh, into the wall goes Jordan Kelly. Smash, he's off. That's going to be damage, and Jordan's out.
Oh, Harvey Dara as well, also getting loose on the outside, which has allowed Johnny Reid to go through, followed by Conor Amelia. Oh, we've a bit of skittles here, and that is Travis Mawhinney who loses out there in that one. And to be fair to Conor, he couldn't be on the wrong tyres and wets in this race. And finally, we see both McClements brothers using the same tyre strategy, both of them on the wet weather tyres, as Dylan follows Sean through the final corner. So it's McGoldrick who stays in the lead, and then Lee Cogan, and then a fine gap between the front 2 and Peter McCann. So unusually in this feature race, the leader actually does a pretty good job of holding on to the lead for the first lap.
Yeah, Sean very, very quick in these GR86s, as we experienced in Alton Park. The results didn't really show for it. And then the mix of the wet weather as well is usually something that Sean gets excited for. So Peter McCann has a job to do to try catch these front 2. I wonder is the smart choice here to let the McClements brothers past and just follow in for the chaos, and Sean does very well to hold it on, dip the wheel onto the AstroTurf. He's now let Dylan through, so despite being in a championship battle, still a bit of teamwork at play, and Sean, I imagine, is just going to try and follow the prodigy up through the field and get towards the front. But Sean McGoldrick's going to lead a handful of laps here. Lee Cogan is not falling off by any stretch of the imagination. The lap times have fallen by about 12 seconds here, so that is just goes to show how wet it really is out on the circuit. Harry Dara's in a whole world of pain. He's on the outside here with Johnny Reid, and he's just used that extra grip round the outside, has got the exit. Lovely move. Now up to 8th, but still down 2 from his starting spot.
Yeah, and look, come here, it's going to be one of those races where you have to be patient, because you can fall back, but then you can just as easily make your way back up again. So you'd have to try not to force anything and just like your pace is your pace, and on the dry weather you can try and push a little bit more out of it. You can maybe take a few more risks, but in the wet weather you really can't do that. You just have to let the race come to you. So patience is going to be absolutely required here for these drivers, as Conor Melia does a bit of Tokyo drifting there through the Brabham chicane, and Sean McGoldrick still leading here. Eric Killeen, unfortunately, the Wu-Tang clan has fallen foul of Scotland's finest, as Dylan McClements now in the middle of this pack of people, and the front two who were quite I suppose working together pretty well. Now it's Lee who's fallen back into the clutches of Dylan McClements, but Lee still very much good chance of him getting a driver of the day if he continues things the way they are. Do give us your nominations for driver of the day as well. Never too early, and you can change your answer. Especially good if you select somebody and they immediately crash out, and then you let us know about it. Peter McCann almost losing it there through the first corner series of corners there, but managing to hold on to it, as he is in a bit of a McClements sandwich, is the Mayo man. Well, the Leash man living in Mayo.
Dylan just driving this car in the wet weather is exceptional to watch. Lunges it down the inside of Lee Cogan, and now he's going to hang on for dear life once again. Rear stepping out. So comfortable when everything is all but comfortable is Dylan McClements, and it's a sign of a truly good wet racer. Lee Cogan held on well for 3/4 of a lap, but unfortunately could not keep back the barrage of cars behind him. And now Peter McCann goes for the outside. That allows Sean McClements onto the inside, and Dylan McClements is going to be going for the race lead here fairly on. He is by far and away the quickest man on this circuit so far. Fastest lap actually went to Travis Mawhinney a few laps ago, but the lap times are chopping and changing left, right and centre. Gap is 3/10 up the front for the time being. It's ebbing and flowing between 3 and 4. Peter McCann has just picked up a slowdown there. Look how late Dylan McClements is on the brakes, sliding through the puddles like he is unaffected by them. And look at the different line run through here. Uses a lot more care on the inside, a lot more care on the outside, and hops his way over. And Sean McClements running something similar. But Dylan is going for the race lead here very early on. He started 8. It's taken him a mere 5 minutes to get to the front, and just so much quicker than the rest of the field. Into the race lead goes the number 88.
It's just he is like a fish in water. Like, he's quite literally like a fish in water. I mean, all the rest of them skating and skirting around, and Dylan, like, he's doing the same. The car is moving, but you can see how comfortable and how confident he is with the car that's underneath him, and where the limit of adhesion is and how far he can push. And yeah, it's a real masterclass here from the young man. The prodigy, very much living up to his name here, as Dylan. He's so impressive. Like, the control he has, and to be able to do that, it's more than just practice and repetition. Like, it takes an intrinsic touch.
Sean!
Oh, Sean getting sent around by Lee Cogan, and if it's any consolation, Lee's also gone out. I don't know if that'll be much consolation to Sean McGoldrick, but the two of them coming together, unfortunately, and both of them being tumbling down the grid as they get past. A bit of a rear end, I think. A small bit of Punterino, I think, potentially. We'll go back and have a look at it. But yeah, Dylan just, to finish the point, Dylan just so comfortable and confident.
Yeah, Sean lost it exiting the Arnold Clark chicane, and just the momentum Lee had from a great exit out of it just pushed him round. You can see here, Sean just dropped so much speed on the exit of the corner, and Sean McClements very lucky to survive there. I don't really think sole blame can be put on Lee. It is his fault that Sean spun round. There was no guarantee Sean caught it, but Lee was just caught out by the change in Sean McGoldrick's momentum there. And to be honest, it's a really unfortunate one for both of them.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, if you don't race cars and you're not used to sim racing, then you'd say to yourself, oh, why doesn't he just slow down? But like, when you do this, you realize that, like, you're coming over a curb, the car's already unsettled, it's wet weather, you're coming over curbs which are slippery as well. You start smashing the brake pedal, and all of a sudden it's you that's going to be spinning around. That's why you often see so many cars spinning with each other, synchronized spinning in sympathy with each other. Sean tries to move, thinking about a move down the inside of Lee, but like, it's so easy to say, oh, we could just slow down there, but actually, Lee, you could smash on your brakes, you still wouldn't get the braking power, and all you'd end up doing is sending yourself around. So you're just trying to make your way through as best you can. So I agree with you there, Evan. I don't think you can entirely blame that on Lee Cogan. It's just a very awkward situation to arrive into.
Yeah, Lee's not racing here to smash lads out of the way either, so definitely wouldn't have intended to do that, as he runs a little bit wide, and now this could well be the reverse of what we just saw. Sean McGoldrick trailing Lee Cogan in for the Arnold Clark chicane, and Lee Cogan, they both run wide, both
of them
with a little bit of a tandem. Where's Ronan Henneman to take a few picks of that one, and now here comes Travis Mawhinney barreling down the inside. Probably the only man who's really put it up to... No, he was putting it up to Dylan McClemens pace-wise, but that has dropped off a little bit. Dylan with a 101.1 the last lap round. Travis with a 101.6. Decent last lap from Sean and from Harvey Darrett as well. And Peter McCann not doing too shabby either, so we may get a podium for Peter McCann after all.
Yeah, and it's about time. We haven't had Peter on the podium in a while, so it'd be good to chat to him. Yeah, that was Travis Mawhinney going very deep into that final corner and almost putting himself under pressure, which meant that, unfortunately, that's what has led to this eventually, because Lee had to slow down to avoid hitting the back of Travis, and then that put him into the clutches of Johnny Reid, but Johnny sensibly, just stepping off that one. Harvey still keeping the fight up to Peter McCann for the moment. I hasten to say anything, given the conditions, so I don't want to say anything for the moment, but Harvey certainly on the rear bumper of Peter McCann, and naturally enough in this weather there tends to be a little bit more separation. You can see that rooster tail off the back of the number 9 car, and it does make visibility very poor in a track where there's a lot of blind corners as well. Trying to spot your apexes here is difficult enough in the dry, never mind to say in the wet, never mind to say when somebody's spray is covering your windscreen. So yeah, the wipers doing their work, working extra hard here around Knockhill. We have classic Scottish weather with just coming up on halfway through this feature race, and there's Peter.
Ooh.
Peter almost losing it there, and he's going to carry a lot of speed through here. Can he keep it in tech? Another wriggle there from the number 9 car as Harvey's forced to back off. Can he get the move here done? Harvey just not quite. Can't quite get it. And he got it. That's Peter. Peter's gone for a vacation. Peter
exit stage left.
You know what? I haven't seen enough of the Knockhill gravel, so I think I'm going to see some more. Off he goes, and Harvey Dara into 3rd place. Gifted. #gifted.
Yeah, Peter violently leaving the scene there into the gravel. Very disappointing for Peter McCann, who's down to 5th, and he'll now have to try and catch and pass Ryan Evan Johnson. Now let's see what Harvey Dara is made of. He is the only... one of 2 non-McClemens winners, I should say now, both himself and Jordan Kelly. Let's see, can he try catch and pass the team DDR drivers. He is the reigning RTA Virtual Motorsport champion, of course, winning the Indy Next Series out of Campto and Tony. Let's see, can he catch Sean McClemens? He's already caught a 10, so decent start here for Harvey Dara. Dylan looks so in control of his automobile at all times. Harvey Dara seems to be taking the Brad Pitt how to drive a car school. It's just input after input after input, but he's fast, so it doesn't matter what happens if he's fast. He's caught 1.4 seconds to Sean McClemens since I started this paragraph.
Yeah, and quite like Brad Pitt, if all Harvey Dara needs to do now is just drop a gear and he can just drive past Sean McClemens with ease. But yeah, massive difference. Already you can see that's 0.7 of a second in the first 2 sectors, and in the final sector, oh my god, massive as well. I think Sean is struggling big time here in 2nd place, and Harvey, he came from quite some distance last week to win the feature race. He started in 6th this evening, and he could do the same again. Don't put it past him. Going to be hard to get past Dylan McClemens, but he certainly has the older McClemens brothers in his sight.
Yeah, Sean McClemens is panicking like a blind man carrying a stack of plates here. This is not going well for him, and Harvey Dara is right on his tail, entering in towards the the Clark curve, and Sean McClemens has fallen off a cliff the last 2 laps pace-wise. He was 0.6 of a second slower than Harvey Dara on the last lap. Harvey set the fastest lap as soon as he got into clear air, and he is now looking for a move on the Formula V racer, and he tries the little dummy on the inside, and it's the block pass manoeuvre, and Sean McClemens is forced to the outside, and Harvey Dara, that was Max Verstappen-esque on the brakes like we saw the Hungaroring. They're now rubbing down the main straight. It's Dara on the inside, McClemens on the outside. Oh, so close racing. Maybe Harvey Dara feels he still has a chance to win this one. Side by side in through the first corner. Who dares wins? They're still side by side. Harvey Dara in front. Bravo!
Yeah, chapeau, Harvey Dara, unbelievable move down the inside. I think the puddle probably caused him to carry a little bit too much speed, and as you say, and probably an unintentional block pass there from Harvey, who takes a lot of that curb on the inside. Very close to getting a slowdown and having all that work undone, but great work by the number 8 car. Superb move to stick it down the inside and then hold off Sean McClemens as well. And he had the pace advantage, but as we say often, catching them was one thing, overtaking them was another, and that was a bit of genius from Harvey Dara.
And that was brilliant. That is a fantastic overtake, and one that needs to be appreciated by the masses. What an excellent move by Harvey Dara. Pure bravery on the brakes. There is ABS on these cars, but it can still run you wide in a similar fashion to locking the fronts. But yeah, fair play, Harvey Dara. One thing that is the equivalent of doing to Sean McClemens is showing a bull a red flag. He does not like one being pulled over him like that, so he will be on warpath to try and get back and pass Harvey Dara. And oh, there we go. He's back through. And that was a lot more easier than Harvey's was.
Yeah, it's frustrating for Harvey having done a brilliant overtaking move, only to thwart himself in the end. Very disappointing for the number 8 car, but he still has the highlight reel of that. Feel free to put it on the CV if you're ever going to the Motorsport Ireland Young Driver of the Year interview. You can always whip that one out. We'll give you that one for free.
I wouldn't put an RTA clip on that.
I thought we were loved by MI. Oh, fair enough. Sean McClemens managing his way back past, and all fairly easy for the number 3 car now with 5 minutes left. It's going to be very, very difficult for Harvey Dara to try and make that time back up on him, but Harvey did make up over a second a lap in the last reckoning, so you never know. Stranger things have happened.
Yep, he's got to do it all again. Does Harvey Dara. Dylan McClemens has gone with the run to this one. Neither of them were catching him. Conor Melia and Johnny Reid back fighting for 9th, although the fact Johnny Reid's just lost 3 seconds in as quick as the timing screen refreshes. He's now lost the position. I think we can assume the worst, unfortunately, for the very talented videographer. Jordan Kelly is in the pit lane with a drive. What a fall from grace for Jordan Kelly. See what I did there? As Sean, once again, losing a lot of time.
I'm sure he'd be delighted with that comment, Evan. This is probably why MI doesn't like us. Sean McClemens.
Everyone else does, though.
Yeah, fairly.
Separate issue.
Well, Peter McCann, 5th position. It's just a disappointing one for Peter. He obviously has the pace to get up in the podium places, and I was really hoping that he'd get it done, but just one too many mistakes, unfortunately, for Peter McCann. As it's been a long day, folks.
Oh!
Synchronized commentating there for me and Evan, if that's what you want to call it, as Peter McCann exercised their vocal cords, and there is Sean McGoldrick going for a trip.
Grip, etc., etc.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Mr. Sparkle is half fish, half light bulb, so maybe the light bulb just went out in Sean McGoldrick's head, and that's why he ended up. Because I mean, the fish part, he should be fine.
I think you just know that off the dome.
Oh, totally, yeah. No. I mean, I used to remember the name of the company that produced Mr. Sparkle. It was something manufacturing concern, but I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway, back to matters on the track. Peter McCann is still in 5th place. Peter is looking a little bit raggedy here, and I wonder, is he trying to just push a little bit too hard to get past Ryan Johnson here in 4th position?
Yeah, he's being made work for this one. Two drivers who have tested Formula Vs this year. Peter and Jordan's and Ryan Johnson in one from James Friel Motorsport, as Travis Mawhinney, another Formula V racer. Sorry, Travis, how could I forget you? Was a monster in conditions similar to this, and he is now trying to get back up towards the podium, the Rheinmeister, as he was, well, not named by anyone in Mondello, but they call him similar things to that. Peter very late on the brakes, as yeah, this could be a tasty fight till the end.
Yeah, that makes a nice change to what most people get called whilst out on track at Mondello Park. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah, I
Get
kind
your
of messed
driver
up
of
that
the
commentary. Sorry, folks, that was really bad.
That's nothing worse than what I tried to do earlier on, so you're absolutely fine. Yeah, great drive. Oh, that could be contact there between Peter and Ryan Johnson. Plenty of shouts for Ryan Johnson as potential driver of the day this evening, because he's had a very good run. Unfortunately, he has a slowdown at the moment, but he's going to try and do his best to make that GR86 as wide as he possibly can, and in doing so could back up Peter McCann and give Travis Mawhinney an opportunity to overtake. He's seen off that how he's managed to see out that slowdown without losing a place. I do not know, Ryan Johnson, but
They
great
don't
work on that.
really affect you in these conditions, as pointed out earlier by Kevin Joyce. As here comes Travis.
Yeah, Travis with a move down the inside, and he's going to get it done. Peter McCann slipping down the order, back down to sixth position as Sean McGoldrick and Conor Melia go at it down the final bend. But yeah, driver of the day, and also thanks to Clusterfunk for reminding everyone, like and subscribe. Absolutely, particularly the like. If you like it, the thumbs up just gets the word out there and gets more eyeballs on this for the last for the last couple of rounds of the season, because this is exceptional driving. I mean, the commentary is awful, but the driving standards are phenomenal in this weather. And we're not really doing these guys justice, I think it's fair to say. But Harvey all over the back of Sean McClements. And to be fair, I mean, he got past Sean before with an audacious move. 40 seconds left on the clock. Can the number 8 car do it again?
Yeah, he went to the outside and dove to the inside in very similar conditions. As you can even see a bit of oil on the final corner. The V's must have been out before it, as white flag is waved. It is
Johnny
Sean
Holly,
McClements in second, Harvey Dara in third. Does Harvey have enough left in the tank to try and get past Sean? He was in front and then made a mistake through the Arnold Clark chicane. He's right close now. This could be another move into the hairpin. Sean that little bit wide. Harvey Dara now on the tail. Little bit tail happy for the McDonald's livery, but nothing that he won't be used to. 20 minutes in to a soaking wet race here at Knockhill. No mistake needed for Harvey Dara. Oh, he's had to catch an absolute tank slapper for the puddles there. Now in towards the Clark curve. One last chance for an almighty move from Harvey Dara. Sean's got the better exit of the two, but Harvey will use the slipstream here. Sean will go defensive. How can Harvey Dara pitch his attack? Dylan McClements no doubtably going to take the win here, but Harvey Dara goes from on the outside into the chicane. Does Sean run a little bit wide? No, he doesn't. He's just got it stopped perfectly. It'll now be a drag race to the line, but the Damien Darty Power Toyota GR86, is it going to pull ahead? Yes, just about. So Sean takes second position. It's another McClements 1-2, and here is Ryan, Travis and Peter.
Yeah, this is a great battle, and it is Ryan Johnson who wins out. Ryan finishing in fourth position. A superb drive from him. Here's Lee Cogan coming through in ninth position. Down 7 places as Carl gives us a little bit more flamboyance before we finish up this evening. But yeah, Lee, a disappointing one for him. Started in second and just couldn't hold on to it. Finished in ninth position. Carl Corkin up 1 position, all the same in 10th. And then Johnny Reid and Jordan Kelly to follow down the road. Sam O'Reilly's also on track, so we will wait for him to... Oh no, he's on track, but he's finished as Johnny Reid is gone for a bit of an alternative line to cross the finish line, as that Carl Corkin pirouetting again further down the track. But yeah, it is an absolutely action-packed round 4 of the RTA GR86 Cup, but it's Dylan McClements in amongst everything. Once again, proves his class.
Dylan McClements ahead of Sean McClements, and it is another win this season for Dylan. His 7th in 4 rounds, his 10th podium in total. That's quite insane. He's only had 2 bad heats this year, or this season so far. John in second, Harvey Darrett in third, Ryan Johnson with a great performance in fourth, Travis Mawhinney in fifth, Peter McCann in sixth, and it was Conor Melia, Sean McGoldrick, Lee Cogan, Cathal Corkin, Johnny Reid, Jordan Kelly, Bicky in 13th, who actually was in our stream chat halfway during that race, so that goes to show how the drive went for the Shamrock Motorsport man. Sam O'Reilly unlucky once again for him, the king of Newbridge Silverware in 14th, Sean Smith in 15th, and Adam Dowling in 6th. Honestly, I think Rob should just refund Adam's entry at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done anything this season, to be honest.
I mean, I don't. Has he managed to actually finish a race since moving to County Mayo? I'm not entirely sure, Adam. But yeah, I mean, by the way, Adam, it's not getting refunded, so that's not happening. Just by the way, but yeah, it is a real pity because Adam's obviously lovely fella and very a very competent, capable driver. But just on the sim this
Wouldn't
year,
be fun to the out lead lap all the same.
Just not happening, or any lap, as it turns out. It just isn't happening for him at all this season. So, yeah, yeah. Rob says no refund for him. He won't learn to improve. There you go now. Wise words spoken from a not so wise man. Right. Interview time. We will be once again speaking to Dylan Clements, who joins Evan Dalton for Mark II of the Knockhill series.
Well, Dylan, no time, no talk. Another win for you in this championship. Your 7th of the year, or of the season. But that one you did have to work for in the opening 5 minutes. 8th to 1st in 5 minutes. How did you get that done?
There was a lot of mistakes, to be honest, in front of me, and I just tried to capitalise them, especially around that chicane. I got the run on them and went up the inside, so there was a couple of people gone off, but I just kept my best and stuck with losing.
How do you keep staying motivated to put the fast laps in at the front? Like, the last lap in that race, you were the only driver under the minute. There doesn't seem to be anything stopping you from just driving away at the front. Talk us through, like, how you keep calm, how you don't make mistakes, how you don't overdrive, underdrive, because even if you make it look really easy, I can't imagine it is.
I don't know, to be honest. Like, I was pushing there to try get the fastest lap, which I did in the last lap, but got off track, so I didn't count Jordan was the fastest. So I was working towards that then, but in the middle of the race, I just tried to keep consistent, because if you go maybe a couple inches over the wet line, it could send you off. So I was just trying to stay as consistent as possible. Then you had the gap to push at the end, so went for it.
It's you versus your brother for the championship. How's that gonna go?
I don't know, because obviously Sean's missed a round, and hopefully he doesn't miss much more. But with the points we had before he went, it was quite close, you know. But we'll have to take it race by race and see how it ends up.
Dylan, congratulations once again. An absolute monster performance from you tonight. And yeah, look, I can't imagine this is the last time we'll talk this season.
Right, thank you very much.
So, good to hear from one McClement's brother. Now it is the slightly less than audible one joining Kevin.
Yeah, well, Dylan just once again proved a theory that only a few inches make a big difference. I'm sure that's something that this man knows all about, Sean McClements. Sean, it's between yourself and your brother now for the title. So what mind games are going to be taking place around the McClements household?
No, nothing. It's all on the Dylan now. This stage, he's I had the drop round last week, so I nearly have to be perfect every week. And well, Dylan is perfect every fucking week, so that's not gonna matter. Like, but
it wasn't Jordan this week.
No, it wasn't Jordan this week. To be fair, I'm just happy Jordan. I'm just happy Jordan got a bad run that last time, because it was all up to him with the wet racing and stuff, and it wasn't fun. But no, I'd say it's all on the Dylan to this stage, and sure I'll keep going the way I'm going and see what I can do. But I'd say it's Dylan championship at this stage.
Well, plenty of carnage. Harvey absolutely did you in the last corner there. We're just having a look at that, which is a little bit unfair because overall, I mean, a pretty good evening for you, but like it's just total carnage, wasn't it? I'm sorry, I'm even commentating on it. The first couple of corners, it was like watching a game of Skittles.
Oh, it was rough. The wet weather. Now that's light weather apparently. I wouldn't want to experience full wet. It doesn't help. Whenever I was getting by the lads, I think it was Sean McGoldrick. Someone else spun the first couple of laps. The whole front left of my car was damaged then too. So wheel damage does not help the wet. I soon found out. But look, you know what? The wet races make it more entertaining. They can be annoying to drive, like, but it sort of brings the driver out and people. So I suppose it's better that way too.
Brilliant. Well, look, congratulations. But as you said, all pressure on Dylan now is what you're trying to say. So the pressure's on the younger brother to deliver for the championship.
But sure, pressure's for tires. Like Dylan has it in the bag, and you know what I mean. Like pressure, tires and bouncy castles. But before I want to go, I just want to wish my granny happy birthday. It was her birthday yesterday. I know she watches, so there you go. Happy
Oh,
birthday, granny.
what's her name?
Jennifer.
Happy birthday, Granny Jennifer, and apologies for my intro for that interview if you were still listening. Sean, congratulations. Always a pleasure to chat to you. No doubt we'll be chatting to you before the end of the season as well. And you never know, we might have a sneaky look at the championship before the end of the season. Talk to you soon.
All right. Cheers, Kevin.
Brilliant. Probably my favourite man to interview on the great Sean McClements. And finally, I think we're going to be joined by Harvey Dara, the author of that fantastic move on the aforementioned McClements Elder.
Harvey, thank you for joining us once again. You weren't first by the first corner, but you had a pretty good run at it. I want to ask you first, though, about that brilliant overtake on Sean McClements. Talk us through it from inside your car.
To be honest, I just absolutely sent it because I needed, if I wanted to have any chance for Dylan, I need to get past Sean quick. So I just went for it, but here it was unlucky.
This season reminds me of the 2020 Formula One season, where it seems like the two McClements brothers are the two Mercedes, and you're Max Verstappen. You seem to be the only one able to challenge them. Can you keep it up? Can you get quicker? How can you put the fight to them for the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, I can definitely get quicker. I just need to, if I could just figure out how to start the car, that would be a start. Because every time I start, I think I lose 3 positions, and I think that's what absolutely messed me up tonight. I actually think if I got a good start, I would have been up to the top 3 in the first lap, but I just cannot get it started. So I got that to work on.
Definitely seems like the pace is there, the racecraft is there. Road Atlanta next week, is that a track you fancy?
Oh yeah, Road Atlanta is one of my favorite tracks, and it should be really good for overtaking because you got the long back straight and lots of toe. But this car doesn't really seem to, like, it's not like the V's where you can just tow half the grid down the back straight. The toe isn't really as much in this car, so that'll also be interesting. But it should be good racing, so I'm excited.
Harvey, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for that cracking overtake. It was a brilliant one to watch, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So good to hear from all three there. Different insights from them all. Dylan just comfortable doing what he does best. Sean putting all the pressure on Dylan, and Harvey saying he can take the fight to both of them.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great run-in, and we obviously have perhaps 1 or 2 more wet weather rounds as well before the end of the season, so that'll keep things interesting. But yeah, it is going to be a fantastic run-in, and not to forget our driver of the day. So plenty of nominations, and all for this man, who I think we can all agree had a very steady Eddie evening, finishing right in amongst it right throughout. He got a 3rd place finish in the last race and a 4th place finish in the final race. Ryan Johnson is our Gantry TV driver of the day. So congratulations to Ryan, and hopefully we'll be speaking to him in the commentary booth very shortly with more potential podiums on the line. Right, that concludes round 4 of the RTA GR86 Cup. Next week we head over the Atlantic Ocean to Road Atlanta for the latest installment on the 18th of August. Hopefully, a little bit less carnage between now and then. Between now and then, of course, enjoy the fine weather we're having at the moment and head over to rtavirtualmotorsport.com, where we will have all the updates on the championship positions. If you want a bit more behind the scenes, not just from the virtual world, but the real world, motorsports on Instagram and indeed social media. And of course, if you're interested in getting involved yourself and you want some gear, you can head to the simconsultants.com.
Not that type.
Hmm?
None.
Okay. I was actually doing quite well there before you rudely interrupted me, Evan. Thanks very much.
Sorry, you said head
right.
to the Sim Consultants if you want some gear. Not that type.
yeah, well, then.
He's a
I think it's, well, if you ask nicely, I think you're Ronan. He's not that far away from Portlaoise. You might be able to start something else for you. Right. He looks like the type. I mean, sorry, that was an inside thought. Right. The star plans
The
for
sniff
this week.
consultant.
Thank you.
Alright, I'm going to come in here and actually defend myself for once. Not associated with these two in any way, shape, or form. If you want actual sim gear, go to simconsultants.com.
Right. Okay. That is it for this evening. Thank you very much. Before we get ourselves into any more trouble or have any of the Garda armed forces banging on our doors. Sorry, Ronan. We're getting Ronan swatted. Right. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will speak to you next week. Have a great week, and until then, stay away from the gear unless it's sim racing gear and Songafol.